Hello everyone, this is me Muskan Naeem ArtWali and I am a student at Rehan School Online Academy. Today I am going to conduct an interview session with all any on the topic of explore the ways learn how to learn. This is a very most important. This is very much important skill that we all need to learn. Uh, we have to learn how to learn, and today we will explore some ways to learn how to learn. Let's dive deeper and deeper into this topic so that we will learn the ways to learn how to learn. Let's get started by firstly start sharing your screen. I will ask some questions from Annie and Annie will answer on them. So I hope you're seeing my screen now. So let's call to Annie. We'll call her. Hey Annie, how are you and how was your day?
Hey there, my night was pretty chill. I binge watched a romance movie classic, and today was a mix of yoga and some graphic design practice. How about you? What?
My day was also good. Today I have another topic to discuss with you, that is explore the ways learn how to learn. So also I have some questions related to this topic. So let's dive into this topic. So we will learn a lot of things about this topic. So let's get started. So my first question to you is, what does learning to how to learn actually means?
Ooh, I love this topic. Learning how to learn is all about understanding your own learning style and figuring out the best strategies that work for you. It's like finding your personal cheat code for absorbing information. For example, some people learn best by doing hands-on, while others might prefer reading or listening. It's about being aware of how you process information and using techniques that enhance your understanding. What do you think? Have you discovered any learning styles that work best for you?
Yeah, sometimes I decided them by my own, but mostly I take suggestions from my mother so that I will be able to solve it properly or to do it professionally. So I will by doing this I will learn a lot of things through some setbacks and in some up downs. So I have I will have a lot of things to learn about that thing about that from that situation. Let's move on the next question. Why is it important to understand how you learn best?
That's a great question. Understanding how you learn best is super important because it helps you maximize your potential. When you know your learning style, you can tailor your study methods, which can make learning more enjoyable and effective. It also boosts your confidence. When you find a method that works for you, setbacks feel less daunting because you have a strategy in place. Plus, it can save you time and reduce frustration. What's something you've learned recently that made you feel accomplished?
um I still did not remember that, so I will mention it whenever I will remember that. So let's move on to the next question. How cognition, metacognition help in learning efficiently?
Metacognition is like having a little coach in your brain. It's all about being aware of your own thinking and learning processes. When you practice metacognition, you reflect on how you learn, what strategies work and what doesn't. This self-awareness helps you adjust your approach so you can tackle challenges more effectively. It's like checking your map before you head out on a journey. Have you ever tried reflecting on your learning process? It can be really eye-opening.
I will absolutely try it next time, but still I did not try it. So I will try to learn it. I will try to absolutely check that. So let's move on to the next question. What role does curiosity play in self-directed learning?
Curiosity is like the fuel for self-directed learning. When you're curious, you're more motivated to explore, ask questions, and seek out new information. It drives you to dig deeper and discover things on your own, rather than just relying on what's handed to you. Curiosity keeps learning exciting and helps you connect the dots between different ideas. It's like being on a treasure hunt for knowledge. What's something you're curious about right now?
Right now, I'm curious about learning something about learning all of those things, and knowing about all over the passions and professions. So this is my small goal, you can say. Uh, so let's move on to the next question. How do learning styles affect your learning process?
Learning styles can have a big impact on how effectively you absorb and retain information. If you know your preferred style, like visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, you can choose methods that align with it. For example, if you're a visual learner, using diagrams or videos can help you grasp concepts better. If you're more of an auditory learner, listening to podcasts or discussions might be your jam. When you tailor your learning process to your style, it can feel more natural and enjoyable. Have you noticed any particular style that resonates with you?
I still did not notice something like this. So
Gotcha.
let's move on to the next question. What are some brain-based strategies that improve learning?
Great transition. There are several brain based strategies that can really enhance your learning. Here are a few. 1. Chunking information into smaller, manageable pieces. It makes things less overwhelming. Repetition. Instead of cramming, review material over spaced intervals with long term retention. 3. Active engagement. Get involved. Discuss, teach, or apply what you're learning. It reinforces your understanding. 4. Mind mapping. Create visual representations of information. It helps organize thoughts and see connections. 5. Rest and sleep. Your brain needs downtime to process and consolidate information. Don't underestimate the power. Which of these strategies do you think you might want to try out?
I will try to try all of this. All of them are hearing good. So let's move on to the next question. How can memory techniques like chunking or mnemonics help you learn faster?
Oh, memory techniques are fantastic. Chunking helps you break down complex information into smaller, bite sized pieces, making it easier to remember. It's like organizing a messy closet. Once you've got everything categorized, it's way easier to find what you need. Mnemonics, on the other hand, are clever little tricks that help you remember information through associations like acronyms or rhymes. They create memorable connections in your brain, making recall much quicker. Using these techniques can speed up your learning by making it more efficient. Have you ever used any memory tricks before?
No, not yet. So let's move on to the next question. What is spaced repetition and why is it effective?
Spaced repetition is a technique where you review at increasing intervals over time. So you revisit material after a few hours, then a day, then a week, and so on. It's like watering a plant regularly instead of flooding it once. This method is effective because it takes advantage of how our brains work. It helps solidify memories and makes it less likely for you to forget what you've learned. It's super helpful for long-term retention. Have you ever tried spaced repetition in your studies? It can be a game changer.
No, I did not try it. How does the Feynman technique help in mastering new concepts?
The Feynman technique is a brilliant way to master new concepts. It involves four simple steps. 1. Choose a concept. Pick something you want to learn. 2. Teach it. Explain the concept in simple terms as if you're teaching it to someone else. This forces you to clarify your understanding. 3. Identify gaps. When you struggle to explain something, it highlights areas where you need to learn more. 4. Review and simplify. Go back to the source material, fill in those gaps, and then try explaining it again, simplifying it even further if you can. This technique helps reinforce your understanding and makes complex ideas more digestible. Plus, teaching is one of the best ways to learn. Trying this technique with something you're currently learning.
No, I did not think about it. What are cognitive biases that can hinder your learning?
Cognitive biases can definitely get in the way of effective learning. Here are a few common ones. 1. Confirmation bias. This is when you focus on information that supports what you already believe, ignoring anything that contradicts it. It can limit your perspective. 2. Dunning-Kruger effect. Sometimes people with less knowledge overestimate their understanding. It can prevent them from recognizing areas where they need to improve. 3. Anchoring bias. This happens when you rely too heavily on the first piece of information you encounter, which can skew your understanding of subsequent information. 4. Overconfidence bias. This is when you believe you know more than you actually do, which can lead to underestimating the effort needed to learn something new. Being aware of these biases can help you approach learning with a more open and critical mindset. Have you ever noticed any of these biases affecting your learning?
No, I did not notice them. What is the difference between passive and active learning?
Great. The difference between passive and active learning is all about engagement. Passive learning is when you absorb information without much interaction. Think of listening to a lecture, watching a video, or reading a textbook. You're taking in information, but you're not really involved in the process. Active learning, on the other hand, involves material. This could include discussions, hands-on activities, teaching others, or applying what you've learned in real-life situations. It's all about being an active participant in your learning journey. Active learning tends to lead to better retention and understanding because you're interacting with the material on a deeper level. Which style do you think you prefer?
I will try all of these, and after that, I will find out which one is best. So let's move on the next question. How can note-taking methods like Cornell or mind mapping enhance
Note-taking
retention?
methods like the Cornell method and mind mapping can really enhance your learning experience. The Cornell method involves dividing your paper into 3 sections and summary. Note-taking methods like Cornell and mind mapping are fantastic for enhancing retention. Method. This involves dividing your notes into 3 sections: cues, notes, and summary. You take notes during a lecture, jot down key terms or questions in the cue section, and then summarize the information at the bottom. This structure helps reinforce learning by encouraging you to review and reflect on the material. This is a visual technique where you create a diagram to connect ideas. It helps you see relationships between concepts, making it easier to remember and understand the material as a whole. Plus, it's a fun way to creativity. Both methods promote active engagement with the material, which can significantly boost retention. Have you ever tried either of these methods? If not, they could be worth experimenting with. You write your main notes in the large section during a lecture while reading, then jot terms or questions in the cue section. After summary at the bottom. This structure helps with organization and review. Mind mapping is a visual technique where you create a diagram that connects ideas around a central concept. It helps you see relationships between different pieces of information, making it easier to remember and understand complex topics. Both methods encourage active engagement with the material, which can improve retention and comprehension. Have you tried either of these methods before? They can be super fun to experiment with.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I will absolutely try all of these. So uh, let's discuss about the next question. Um, what is interleaving and how can it make learning more effective?
Interleaving is a learning technique where you mix different topics or types of problems during your study sessions, instead of focusing on one subject at a time. For example, if you're studying math, you might switch between geometry and statistics rather than doing all algebra in one go. This approach can make learning more effective because it helps your brain make connections between different concepts and improves problem-solving skills. It also keeps your mind engaged and prevents boredom. By challenging yourself to switch gears, you're training your brain to adapt and retain information better. Have you ever tried mixing subjects while studying? It can be a refreshing change.
That's uh, that's good to hear. I will whenever I will study something, I will reset, and after that, I will share my thoughts
That
of it.
sounds like a great.
So let's move on the next question. How can questioning techniques boost critical thinking during learning?
Questioning techniques are a powerful way to promote critical thinking. Here's how they help. 1. Encourages curiosity. Asking questions and drives deeper exploration of a topic. It pushes you to seek answers and understand the why behind things. 2. Clarifies understanding. Formulating questions helps identify gaps in your knowledge. It encourages you to think and what you need to learn. 3. Promotes analysis. Questions can lead you to analyze information from different perspectives. This helps you evaluate the validity of sources and arguments. 4. Fosters discussion. Asking open-ended questions encourages dialogue and collaboration with others, leading to a richer understanding of the material. 5. Enhances retention. Engaging with questions actively helps reinforce memory and comprehension, making it easier to recall information later. Have you ever used questioning techniques in your learning? It can be a fun way to dive deeper into a subject.
No, I still did not try that. So let's move on to the next question. Why is it important to teach others what you have learned?
Teaching others what you learned is super important for several reasons. 1. Reinforces your understanding. When you explain concepts to someone else, it forces you to clarify your own understanding. It helps you identify gaps in your knowledge. 2. Boosts retention. Teaching is one of the best ways to solidify information in your memory. The more you engage with the material, the better you remember it. 3. Encourages reflection. Explaining concepts to others encourages you to think critically about the material and reflect on different perspectives. 4. Builds communication skills. Teaching helps you develop your ability to communicate complex ideas clearly and effectively, which is a valuable skill in any field. 5. Creates a sense of community. Sharing knowledge fosters connections and collaboration with others, enriching the learning experience for everyone involved. Have you thought about teaching someone what you've learned? It could be a fun way to reinforce your own knowledge while helping someone else.
Okay, Annie, so let's move on to the next question. How does consistency improve the ability to learn anything?
Consistency is key when it comes to learning. Here's how it improves your ability to learn anything. 1. Builds habits. Regular practice helps you develop good learning habits. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to integrate learning into your daily routine. 2. Enhances retention. Repeated exposure to the material over time helps reinforce memory. Spaced repetition, for example, is more effective than cramming. 3. Increases confidence. As you consistently engage with a subject, you build confidence in your abilities. This can motivate you to tackle more challenging concepts. 4. Promotes consistency, allows for gradual improvement. With regular practice, you can master skills and concepts more effectively than through sporadic studying. 5. Reduces overwhelm. Consistent learning breaks down complex topics into manageable chunks, making it less overwhelming and more enjoyable. Have you found any strategies that help you stay consistent? It can be a game changer.
Okay, Annie, so in the last, I will say that give me the conclusion of our chat so that our viewers can learn what was the purpose of our chat and what we are mainly discussing
Absolutely.
in this chat so that they will learn that thing more properly and also mention some key points from our chat so that it will be more easier for them to learn.
Sure thing. Here's a more detailed conclusion with key points. We mainly focused on effective learning strategies to enhance understanding and retention. Here are some key takeaways. 1. Active learning techniques. Methods. Use the Cornell method for organized notes and mind-visual connections. Interleaving. Mix different subjects during study sessions to improve problem-solving skills. 2. Questioning techniques. Encourage curiosity and critical thinking by asking open-ended questions to deepen understanding. Teaching others versus your own knowledge and builds confidence while fostering a sense of community. 4. Consistency.
Okay, new everyone. So let's end up this conversation on this main thing that we have to learn how to learn. This is the very main thing to learn, and we were mainly discussing this thing in our chat so that you will learn about this. That you have to that this is a very important thing you need to learn. So learn it as much as you learn. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with another any session. Until then, stay tuned for my future videos, and thank you so much for watching this. And I hope you had got my perspective and will also implement it in your life.